Hello, y'all. Happy Thursday. How's it been going today, folks? So, I'm excited because it's Thursday. And guess what else? It's podcast day, y'all. So, I'm excited. Let's get into this today. Um, I am so happy to be back doing the podcast for one thing. This has been really, really good. It has been really, really exciting. And so I'm glad to be back doing this in the studio, having a really, really, really good time. So this podcast episode, as I told y'all, is going to be me sharing a little bit of my mental health journey and what have been going on with me. So I am actually excited to share that with y'all. Hopefully, because it'll help, some people who may not know what's going on with them. But also, mental health is something that we don't talk about enough. And I think a lot more people struggle with it than we think. And so I just feel like it's time for us to really start to have those really hard conversations about mental health, what it means, and how we can definitely, take care of ourselves the way that we should take care of ourselves. So we're going to get into this on today. So I'll be right back and we'll get into my story. All right, so we're going to get into this episode. And plus, remember, I told y'all I have a special guest that's going to be here to talk to y'all. But I really felt like it was important to share a little bit about my mental health journey and why I entitled it Unmasked. And later on, I'm going to have my good friend, Dr. Tyra, on here, and she's going to talk to us about mental health and why it's so important in ways that really help us. And so I really want to start by sharing with y'all that there is nothing wrong with you, that mental health is something that's real and we need to really talk about it more. We don't talk about it a lot, and especially in communities of color and with women, we don't talk about it enough. And we have to learn how to be real and to be authentic. And that is one thing that I feel like is really lacking nowadays. Like, we are not just being real with each other. Also, we're not being kind to our minds. Like, we really beat ourselves up for not feeling right, not feeling a certain way. And we really have to look into that. And so I want to take you back to a couple of months ago. I will say probably about end of July, August, I began to feel really crazy. And I use the word crazy loosely, but I began to feel like really not like myself. I felt like there was something wrong, but it seemed physical. Now, mentally, I just felt like because I'm so tired, so because I'm having all these chronic pains, that there's something going on with me. And so I just figured there was something physically wrong. I made an appointment to go for my well woman visit. And, everything I guess was okay with that. But during that, they do like a sort of mental health test. Like, they ask you certain questions, and based off of how you respond, they recommend treatment. And so I'm just answering the questions as they go along. I'm not thinking about anything about what I'm saying. And so my doctor asked me to look her in the eye, and she's like, "You're severely depressed and you need to get to a doctor like right away." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, what do you mean I'm depressed? Like, what do you mean? What's going on with me?" And one thing I will tell y'all was that was heartbreaking for me because I felt like I was good, and I felt like the mask that I wore had been uncovered, and it was just so heartbreaking to know that now I was exposed. Now people would see, because it was like once I opened that door, it was over with. It was done. I couldn't go back to how I was. And so I made an appointment right away because I was scared, y'all. Like I was scared. I was scared, like what's going to happen to me? What's going to go on? And so I went to a therapist, and I have a really, really great therapist. And so he told me that I had persistent depressive disorder. Yes, it is a long form, chronic form of depression. And so here's the definition of what it is. It's continuous long-term form of depression. Like, y'all, I didn't even know I was depressed. And according to him, I had been depressed for years and didn't even know it. But because we wear masks, because we always hide behind certain things. For those of you who follow me on social media or who I've even interacted with, if you notice, like I was super just happy. I was always smiling and doing good. But there would be days that I would lie in bed just immobilized. I couldn't move because I was so depressed. But I thought it was, physical. I thought there was physical pain that was going on when really it wasn't. It was that I was so depressed. And so there were things that triggered that I didn't even realize. I kind of like lost touch with, a really good friend. Someone betrayed me that was super, super close to me. I've, lost a relationship with my son. Like we don't really talk or anything like that. So it's things that trigger that. And then let's just talk about COVID, y'all. Like just COVID alone and all the things that come with that. And so when we don't check in with ourselves, when we don't recognize what's going on with us, these things can happen to us. And it just kind of creeps up on you, and you don't even know that there's something going on with you, that there's something wrong until it's too late. And so where I was I had spiraled. I was actually in what they call a crisis, and I needed help immediately. And so I began to go back into therapy, and I really had to talk and uncover some trauma and some stuff like from childhood that had trickled over into adulthood. And so I say to y'all, like, really check on yourselves. When you don't feel right, go get help. Go talk to someone. Go get the help that you need, because wearing that mask is not good, y'all. It's like, it really could be a detriment to your health. It really could be a bad thing for you. And that is not what I want for anyone. And so after I was diagnosed with persistent depressive disorder and I started to get treatment, I was determined not to let anyone else go through this and there not be some kind of recourse or some kind of help for them. And so I began to research the disorder, and I began to see, like, what is it that I could do with my platform? Like, it's not like I'm just popping, y'all, okay? But I got a few little followers out here. And I was like, what can I do? What can I do to help other people? And so what I decided to do was share my story. And so I posted a video over a couple of days about my story, about what was going on with me. And actually, during the time of me posting that video, I was really in a trigger state. Most people saw me and I was like sitting in my bed recording this video, but I had to get it out and share with people. And it was so many people who said to me that I really helped them, that it really helped them, understand what was going on with them. Some of them was like, I think I got the same thing. There were so many things that video uncovered. Now, again, it was triggering for me, y'all, because I had to share my story, but it freed some people. Like, it helped some people see that they're not alone in this. And so I am committed to making sure that people know that mental health is a real disease. Nobody can tell you to pray it away. Nobody can tell you to manifest it away or manifest whatever. Like, I'm sick of all of that stuff. I want you to know that what you feel is real, but I also want you to go get help. And so there are millions of Americans that struggle with some form of mental illness, depression, stress, anxiety, all of these things. And they won't go get help because we shame them. There's a stigma that's attached to it. And so I ran the risk of that being an issue for me because I'm an entrepreneur. Like, hell, it's, people may not want to work with someone who has a mental illness. But I knew I had to share my truth. I knew I had to unmask because it was going to be hard going forward to hide it. And I was telling a friend, actually, I was telling Dr. Tyra the other day, like, I think I felt better, quote unquote, prior to the diagnosis than I do now, because now I know, and I have to sit with these feelings and I have to process them and I have to go through the steps so that I can be okay. Today was a triggering day for me. There was some stuff that happened this morning that was just really bad. And I wanted to lie in bed all day. I almost wanted to cancel this podcast episode, y'all, just to be real. But I also know that I have to be held accountable for this disease. And that's one thing with persistent depressive disorder, is that you go into this kind of bubble and you stay there until people help you come out. Like, my friends literally have to say, okay, you got to get up and you got to get moving. You can't sit here and not do anything. And so now I'm holding myself accountable because I know other people are going to hold me accountable. So I was like, I'm getting up out this bed today. It's going to be okay. If I got to cry and all of that to get what I need to get done, I'm just going to do it. But I want us to do better. I want us to take better care of ourselves, especially us women. Like, we carry so much stuff. We got to stop that. Like, we literally have to stop that and really begin to take care of ourselves. And so for me, I'm doing more in that space. I actually have a mental health community called Mind Your Business, and you'll see a commercial about that in a little bit. But I want us to have safe spaces to be able to talk about these things, to be able to share these things. There are so many people that are dying because people make fun of them, or there's a stigma attached to this awful, awful disease. And it's not fair when someone should be able to share with you that they're not feeling right and you not say something ugly to them and you not, bash them. We don't know what people go through day by day. And sometimes a kind word can turn a tide around, but sometimes an ugly word could turn it around as well to someone takes their life. So we have to be very, very careful of how we treat each other, how we talk to each other, and the things that we say, because we don't want to be held responsible for someone no longer being here because we said something to them that we would later regret. So I digress. I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I definitely want us to, really be careful and just do the work in your communities to help bring awareness to mental health, but also to help remove the stigma. Okay, y'all, can we do that? So I got a surprise for y'all because I met this young lady. She is so beautiful and so sweet, y'all. I cannot wait for y'all to hear about this, because a lot of y'all was DMing me today like, girl, what you talking about? Because I just got hit with this subscription. Listen, my girl, she gonna tell you what it's all about, okay? Now we're gonna go to a short commercial break, and then I will bring her on, and we're gonna talk about this really cool program. Like, y'all, when I say I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it, okay? And I know y'all gonna be excited about it too. But I want you to watch this commercial from my friends at NAMI that is going to talk about it's okay to not be okay, and that we have to do better just as a community to help each other in this fight. So don't go nowhere. Sit tight. I'll be back with my girlfriend and we're going to talk, okay?
It's okay to think you're in a toxic relationship with the world right now.
It's okay to feel like your world is changing.
It's okay if it's hard to find the words to express how you feel.
It's okay to feel like you just want to become someone else.
It's okay
if you're panicking over an inability to control your life right now.
It's okay to have trouble maintaining your normal routine while staying home.
It's okay if you're feeling more cynical than usual.
It's okay if you want to curse more than you usually do.
It's okay to wear your favorite tank top several days in a row.
It's okay to miss your job.
It's okay to just stay quiet.
It's okay to be depressed.
It's okay to talk to your cats like they understand what you're saying.
It's okay not to feel the most fabulous right now.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Lakeisha. How are you?
I am great now. Like, we get to chat. I'm excited. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you, number one.
Well, no, thank you. I was going to say, thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, I'm excited because, listen, I need people to get into what all I did was say, hey, I got a special guest. And I said, have you ever, been caught with subscriptions that you didn't, these free trials that you wind up having to pay for?
Totally.
And you forgot all about it. And so I got a couple of DMs that was like, girl, what you talking about? I was like, you gotta watch the show.
I love that.
Tune into the replay. So
Lakeisha, I mean, like, we love you at Scribe Up. You are such a super user and an early adopter, and you really understand it. And I love that about you. But before I go into that, I was here from the beginning, and I just want to thank you for saying what you said about mental health. I do think it is so important, and normalizing depression is so important. And everyone's story is valid. I think that's just like, they're real, they're important, they're valid. Self-care is absolutely important. And so it doesn't mean you're weak. It actually means exactly the opposite. You are strong and admirable to know yourself, that you need help. And so thank you for spreading the word. I think you have, honestly impacted me in the last 10 minutes, which is crazy. Like, that's awesome. And thank you for spreading your word and telling your story. That means a lot.
Yeah, well, thank you, number one, for saying that. And I definitely realize that there needs to be a safe space out here.
Totally.
Because it's hard for us to share that. Like, my friend today was like, girl, my ADHD is bad. Like, and I feel bad when I say to someone, I'm sorry to get to that email, because I was like in a crisis. Like, I had to move, and people shame her for that. That's not right.
Nope. I totally agree. I think everyone has like their own struggles, and it doesn't make them weaker. It doesn't make them less, worth it. It just means that that's like what they're dealing with, and everyone has their story, and everyone should be respected to have their story.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
really
I appreciate you for saying it. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
For real. But back to
okay, to the fun part.
This the fun part, because we're about to change these people's lives up in here today. So start by telling them who you are, where you work at, girl.
So thanks, Lakeisha. My name is Erica Chang. I am the Chief Commercial Officer at a company called Scribe Up. As mentioned before, we love Lakeisha. She's a super user, started with us from the very beginning, and really understands the pain point of what we do. So what is it that Scribe Up does? We are a completely free tool that gives you complete control to find, control, and save on your subscriptions. So Scribe Up ensures your subscription experience is pure enjoyment. In other words, you'll never worry again about forgetting to cancel a free trial, keeping track of your subscriptions, or overspending on subscriptions each month. And so what does that mean? We eliminate the possibilities of unwanted subscription bills by canceling unwanted subscriptions with one click. We allow you to try free trials. I know, Lakeisha, you love that part, without any risk of forgetting and getting charged recurring fees. I know a lot of us have some sob and horror stories. I could definitely share my own. And you could lower your monthly bills through ScribeUp rewards, whether it is shopping as you normally do on merchant sites like Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Best Buy, Nike. We really try to get you all the savings that you can get into your ScribeUp wallet so you can lower your monthly subscription bill.
Yes.
The whole idea is getting total control over your subscriptions so you can enjoy them and not have to worry about them.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Like, y'all, just the mere fact that I could try out stuff and not worry about, like, I literally told them on Product Hunt, like, do y'all know, like, the thousands of dollars, like thousands, y'all, because I guess, Erica, I'm like one that wants to try everything.
Yeah.
So
me too.
I'll be like, oh, let me sign up for this. Let me sign up for that. And then you forget about it. Like half the time, I don't even use the stuff.
Yep. Actually, there's a word. So there is something called multi-potentialites, which means that like you just like love to like try new things and you're always looking for the next thing. And a lot of times like that happens, but then you forget about it or you are on to the next thing. And you shouldn't be punished for that. That is something that like is because the world is getting more digital, everything is becoming a subscription. I just read that Elon Musk is like putting subscriptions on Twitter and it's like $7 to have a verified stamp or $8. I think like BMWs have heated seats and they're like charging a subscription over it. Everything is becoming a subscription.
Right.
And, you know, it's easy to juggle one or two subscriptions. If you have Netflix and I don't know, like, YouTube, it's easy to juggle those two and make sure you don't forget about them. Then add another one and another one and another one. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who could juggle 20 things physically. And so it's just like, imagine it's pretty hard. And so we're the tool to help you manage your subscriptions.
Right. I love that. And not only like, I'm telling y'all, when I first signed on with them, there were like a few subscriptions. It was so easy to understand like what they were doing. It was so easy to like be able to control all of that. And then I jump on the phone with Josh and he just like changes my life as well too. And he's like, awesome. Hey, do you know what this virtual card is for? And I'm like, well, I saw it. And he was like, we reward you. So y'all, not only do they save you money by canceling these subscriptions for you, like they alert you. Like, I think y'all do it like 3 to 7 days before that free trial ends. So like we know when our trial is about to end and they block charges unless you say otherwise.
Yeah.
But every subscription that I have linked to my ScribeUp card, I get points for.
Yep.
I'm rewarded for. And not only that, when I was shopping on, I think Walmart today.
Yep.
The little thing popped up. I was like, okay, most of the time I'm on my doggone phone, but guess what I'm gonna be from now on trying to shop.
I was gonna say I just moved to LA and I have needed to buy furniture, and so I used like the ScribeUp rewards. It has saved me so much money. Like I have not been paying my subscription bills because I've been getting all these rewards. It's awesome. Yes. But Josh, just like so everyone knows, Josh is the chief product officer. He is awesome. He is like the brainchild of our product. Yes. And Lakeisha knows him very well. And he's awesome. I can't speak more highly about him. But yeah, we have this virtual card that essentially protects you from future unwanted subscription bills. So you could use them for free trials. You could, like Lakeisha, you could connect them to your current subscriptions, like if you have Netflix. And so what we do is we understand the payment logic when it comes to subscriptions, and we'll help block charges, remind you and notify you, and keep it all in one place so you don't have to manage all of them individually. We can help you do that. Everything is with it. And Lakeisha, you could speak to this, but it's really one click if you want to keep it or cancel it.
Exactly.
And once you put it in your wallet, it's there, and we'll help you. We'll help you organize it.
Yes, I'm serious. So something today, I got an email today about one of my subscriptions, one of my trials.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I didn't even really like it. Like, I didn't even like it. It was one click, y'all. Yep. One click.
It's crazy. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, the whole idea of ScribeUp is so you guys could enjoy your subscriptions the way that you want it. We are not changing your habits. We're not changing the way that you deal with subscriptions.
Right.
We're just protecting you from all the unwanted bills and or like the fear of trying subscriptions. We're giving you back the power. And so enjoy it. Enjoy it. Like, if you don't like it, great, move on to the next one.
Right.
But like, the whole idea is for people like Lakeisha to have the opportunity to try things when given the opportunity to.
Exactly. I love it, Erica, because before I want to try something, so like everybody, well, I guess everybody has Dropbox, but I dropped Dropbox, honestly, because I was like, hell, I'm paying, for Google Workspace. I got like 2 TB of room. Why do I need Dropbox? And so someone sent me a file, like, we're actually going to share files in Dropbox. And I was like, I'm going to go over here and give me a free trial.
Seriously. I
did.
I'm so glad. I mean, like, for Lakeisha, I can't speak more highly about you. You too, like the fact that you really understand what the beauty of ScribeUp is. You get to use your free trials without risk. You can just like set it and forget it. And that's like what we're here to do. We're here to do the work for you so you can enjoy whatever free trial, whatever subscription you want.
Right. Yes. And so I know next week we're going to dive a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like, we're going to get into the weeds with this. Okay, y'all. Like, we are going to get into the weeds. Erica's going to show you some stuff about it. But just like briefly, like, how did y'all come up with this concept? Like, how did you get started?
I think, to put it simply, we are users too.
Yes.
So we all went to MIT Sloan. It is an MBA school. And we all initially bonded over getting caught with an unwanted bill. And mine was masterclass. So all of the MBA program was gifted like a free annual subscription to masterclass. And I was like, yeah, like, I want to learn how to drink wine and like how to taste wine and everything. Right. I know how to drink wine. And the next year I got slapped with a $199 charge. I tried to ask for it back and I couldn't. So it was kind of a lost cause. I was so frustrated. But I think we all the whole entire founding team had one horror story or another. We were didn't even realize that there was a service we were getting charged for that we weren't using. We either forgot to cancel a free trial like me and got burned by it, or we really just had zero visibility into our 20 plus services, 15, whatever it may be. Like, we were just like so bogged down by subscriptions that we didn't even know what we were getting a handle on.
Right.
Each of us were frustrated by managing all these and, affording all these services honestly gets to be costly. And so we just wanted to empower users in the modern life. Yes. And so that's where we were like, hey, we can do something about it. So at school, we created ScribeUp. It originally started with just the free trials.
Right.
And then we expanded to protect you for all subscriptions.
Right.
And so that is exactly what we were trying to do. And here we are today, now having a product, having the virtual card, giving people more rewards when they are just trying to lower their subscription bills. And that's exactly what, the dream of ScribeUp is all about.
Right. Yeah. Y'all, I can't say enough. Like, I can't wait till Erica gets into
I'm
all
so
of this
excited.
Next week. But it's like, even my current subscription. So like, I want y'all to hear this. Even the current subscriptions that I have that may or may not have a free trial on ScribeUp are in my ScribeUp account. Yeah. They manage all of that for me. When I sign into my Dash, I see all my subscriptions, every last one of them.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're here for. Like, we're here to either set it or forget it, or be there when you need us. Like we'll always be there.
Right.
And so like, we'll help you identify the subscription that you're currently paying for, kind of like what you were just saying. We'll then help you cancel anything you're not using and add the services you'd like to keep to ScribeUp.
Right.
So any of those subscriptions. And then from there, we ensure that you win at subscriptions,
Right.
With the powerful features like the ScribeUp rewards, or even just like total control in the dashboard.
Yes. I don't think I paid for Hulu in a few months. Okay.
I love that for you. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, like it just works. So tell them, because we're gonna chat again next week.
Yes.
For sure. But tell them like how to get started. Like, don't delay on this.
Yeah, no, and thanks for that. So I think I see like in the banner, it says like sign up for ScribeUp. So Lakeisha has a link to it. Feel free to click it. You'll be sent to the Chrome store, and we are a Chrome extension, completely free. And that's how you get started. The whole point of the Chrome extension is so when you're online on your computer, we follow you where you go if you want. Like we just help you to remind you, send you notifications. And then once you do that, you sign up. And you could scan your credit card so you could understand what your subscriptions are right now.
Right.
And we can help you identify them. We don't store your data. We don't data share. This is all just so we can understand like what your subscriptions are. And then from there, you get to decide to keep or cancel. And you can, and then once you do that, you can switch to our ScribeUp card and get started, and we will help protect you from there.
Right. Yes. So definitely, y'all, make sure y'all sign up. Meet us back here next week.
And we'll show you all the good stuff.
Yes. Erica's going to like screen share. We're going to get in the back end. Y'all, I get excited because, and I have like right now, my ScribeUp window is open. Like I keep it open all day. I don't know why. I keep it open all day. You know, one thing, Erica, like all my friends, and even like my friend that's waiting to come on, Dr. Tyra, like we're really, like, we're connectors. We're networkers.
Yeah.
So I could call Tyra and say, hey, you know what we could use for X, Y, and Z. And she's like, oh, girl, yeah, this, you know, like, is this app? Is that app?
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. So now when people ask me stuff, I'm like, oh, wait, go sign up for ScribeUp and you can try it for free for like 30 days or, you know, whatever the case might be. So
and we completely protect you. That's exactly what we want. We love people who understand the product, who understand what we are here for. But again, it's all about so you can enjoy your life. You could enjoy all the subscriptions that are out there without fear.
Right, definitely. Well, I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you.
Take care. Look, tap into this link.
Yes.
Because it's so much on there. Like I signed up for Todoist and I'm loving it. Like,
it's great.
Oh my gosh, I am loving
Todoist.
Like it's getting my whole life organization together. Okay.
So great.
Like it's awesome. So thanks again, Erica, for joining me today. I can't wait to see you next week. We definitely gonna chat again next week. Yes, and y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna show you a commercial on my community, and then I'll be back with my good friend, Dr. Tyra. Hi, I'm Lakeisha Mosley, and my learning community is all about creating a safe space to talk about mental health. We want to remove the stigma and also the bias that's associated with having a mental health issue. Journaling is one of the favorite things that I love to do when I feel like I'm triggered or my depression and anxiety is at an all-time high. In this learning, I'm going to talk to you about journaling, what it is, what are some benefits of it, and some of the apps that I use for journaling. There are some huge benefits. Number one, we talked about reducing stress. It also helps you fight off any things that could be triggers. You get to track those things. Journaling helps you process through negative feelings and thoughts. I look forward to you joining and subscribing to my community. Y'all, wasn't that great? Like, my girl Erica was like the bomb. I cannot wait for y'all to see what she got going on over there. Her, Josh, and the whole team are super, super great. And I'm so glad that they have a service out there like that where people don't get caught up. Because I was one, y'all, like for real, I was getting caught up. But also, thank y'all for tapping in, checking out Mind Your Business. I'm excited about that. It's just, I really want a safe space for mental health. And this was one of the best ways that I could think about us doing something like this. So I'm about to bring my girl up. Y'all know me and Dr. Tyra always talking. Y'all listen, we always talking. You on mute, boo?
Girl, you know I'm crazy. How are you?
I am doing well. Look, I'm just gonna make you resident therapist, okay?
I'll take it.
Because listen, we're gonna probably be on here a whole lot talking about some stuff, not just mental health, but business. So
yeah,
y'all, Dr. Tyra is all around. She's a great businesswoman. She knows her stuff with mental health, and she is definitely someone you want to be following, to be connected with. She does all the things. Okay, y'all. Like, it's some stuff she like, why you not doing X, Y, and Z? She holds me accountable. And y'all know in last segment, I told y'all that I have to be held accountable for persistent depressive disorder. And Dr. Tyra is one of those people that's like, okay, we can't stay here. It happened. So now we got to move around. We can't stay here. So I'm so glad you're here today.
I'm glad to be here. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Tyra Gardner. I'm a psychotherapist, nationally certified anger management specialist. I specialize in anger, anxiety, phobias, depression. I also am a business coach. So I help business owners basically decipher through all of the issues that they have mentally as well as within their business, right? Because the thing is, all aspects of your life need to be 100% well. Your business, your financial, your mental, your physical, your spiritual, your environmental, everything needs to have an alignment. And so that's what I'm here for. Here to help you find your you.
Right. Yes. Y'all, when I say my girl knows her stuff, knows her stuff. And I love, Tyra, that you are a business coach, because most business coaches don't have any background in mental wellness. They teach you how to start this business. They teach you how to make money, but they don't teach you about when you go in that boardroom and that man talk to you the way your daddy used to talk to you, how to navigate through that and not spaz out on him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's definitely something that's needed, for people to be able to have that voice, be able to have that moment to vent, because that's real. You know what I mean? That those feelings is real where you at work and you have a moment, but the thing is being able to navigate through that moment and know what's most important. Because number one, when we have these type of situations, where that might cause us increasingly increased anger, right? We need to be able to think about, bring ourselves back to reality and say, okay, is it worth me even investing that energy, right? And even responding to what the person is saying? Because the bottom line is, people have their own parties, their own little personal parties, that, like I try to call them, whether it's an anger party, a blame party, a shame party. They have all these parties and they want to invite you to them. But you have to put in your mind that, you know what, I'm not coming to your party. That party is just for you, and I don't want to be a guest to it. So exactly. So that's when you have to say, okay, let me take a step back and think about what I need to do to better myself. Because at the end of the day, it's you're the one that's at risk.
Exactly.
And it's like, and then you have to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Right. Oh my gosh. So y'all, I hope y'all heard that, because we both cater to business people. So, like, yes,
Mhm.
I have a mental wellness space. It's for everybody. But a
Mhm.
lot of my events are geared toward women entrepreneurs, specifically women entrepreneurs of
Mhm.
color. I feel like that's just where my heart is and where I've kind of niched down. So
Mhm.
prior to you coming on, I shared with them about my mental health journey, how
Mhm.
I was diagnosed with this disorder. And so
Mhm.
I want you to share with them just a little bit from your viewpoint of like how detrimental depression is if untreated.
Oh my goodness. If your depression is not treated and you have, major depression and is at a severe state, you know, you can become suicidal. You can become, it's like that's like the ultimate. And the thing is, we want to start working on meeting with you and talking with
Mhm.
you about what you're going through, so that we could help you navigate through and find solutions to the problems. We want to be able to mediate what's going on so that we can, discover new ways, new coping skills to get you through. Because depression, people, when you become severely depressed, suicidal is one.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting out of bed is another thing that always happens, and when people don't get out of bed, they to the point where they don't even feel like washing, they
Yep.
don't feel like eating, they don't feel like talking, you don't feel like functioning. All you want to do is stay in your own little world. I remember back when I was in college, a friend of mine used to put, I don't know why she was always into this. She would take and put black sheets up to the windows in our rooms, and like she would like drape the room in black
Mm-hmm.
when she would become depressed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now this is back old school in the 90s. It wasn't like the rooms is now, right?
Right.
Where you share an apartment. We was in a 4x4 room. And I'm
Exactly.
in there
They
like,
don't
look
know what
here.
dorm rooms look like no more.
Look, I'm like, look here, sis. You gonna have to take look, we gonna take this black down. I got to live in here too. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Like we ain't living like this. We
Right.
gonna figure out what's going on and we gonna work it out.
Right. Exactly. Definitely. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm glad you shared that insight. And like, what was scary for me was
Hmm.
that I had this mask on for a long time and didn't even
Hmm.
realize that I was depressed. Like, I knew days when I felt down.
Hmm.
But what was crazy was to sit before a therapist and he say, well,
Hmm.
you probably been happy, but it ain't been real
Right.
because you are severely depressed and we got to get you help. And he starts naming things that kind of
Right.
like naming people who
Hmm.
that we knew like
Hmm.
had this disease
Hmm.
and died from it. The young lady, I think she was in a pageant or something, Miss USA, Miss
Oh
something.
yes, yes, yes. The earlier part of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to that, you never know what a person is going through,
that's true.
right? And people, when you're in a dark place, they're not going to tell you
Right.
what's going on with them. They're not going to share, and when that happened, it was just like a lot of situations of things like during that time happened at the same time because if
Yeah.
you don't if you remember Regina King's son,
Yes.
her
Sure did.
also, like all that happened like within the same week,
Yep. Sure did. Sure
and it's
did.
just like, and when you look at all of that happening, it was just like, it was like, people talking about one situation, now we're at this situation. It's like, okay, how can we process, and the number one question was, how could we have prevented that from
Yes.
happening? But the thing is like, when somebody has in their mind that this is it, there's no turning back.
There's no turning back. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and people probably was around her all day. She probably, when you look at the situation, she probably passed her neighbors in the hallway, all kinds of
Yes.
things. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, all these things go through people's mind of how could I have helped? But one thing I will say is your friends, your well friends that you think are well, check on them.
Please.
Check on them. Check on everyone, and don't make it to the point where, you know, you're questioning, oh my goodness, well, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Because sometimes people have a lot of things on their mind and they're going through things and they don't share. They don't
Right.
talk about their problems, because a lot of people feel like if I share my problems with somebody, I'm a burden.
That's the main.
I'm a burden.
Yeah.
I'm a burden, or you have the person that talks about so many problems all the time to the point where when there is an emergency, they feel like they can't share at all
Yeah.
because they done talk so much
Mhm.
about everything else. Is like, okay, and now they start feeling trapped and feeling boxed in, like I have nobody to talk to. I don't know who I can turn to about what is going on. And so
Mhm.
because of that, I have to say, okay, let me just take a step back, and try to figure this out. But at the same time, they taking a step back trying to figure the situation out, they're putting themselves in a darker place.
Yep. Yes.
Because at this point, when they get in that darker place, it's like the loneliness
Mhm.
starts to really take over their whole body, right? Because you're like, you could be in a room with a million people and everybody smiling and laughing, but you could still feel alone.
You can still be by your doggone self.
You still be by yourself.
Mentally by yourself. I know for
Yeah.
me, the darkness was
Hmm.
comforting.
Hmm.
I would take showers in the dark.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
take baths in the dark. And
Hmm.
I would lie in bed. It was just like I didn't have to be bothered with anything. Like it
Hmm.
was just like it was. I won't say like I was at peace. I just knew like I didn't have to deal with anything at that
Hmm.
moment because I wasn't
Hmm.
active. And so when I first started going to my therapist, he said it's like being in a bubble. He
Hmm.
said when you start to feel depressed, you go to this bubble. And then
Hmm.
once you're in crisis, you're in the bubble and it's a protection. And you need people
Right.
to bring you out of that
Hmm.
bubble because the bubble is dangerous. It's a false sense of protection, is what he said.
Right.
He said
Hmm.
because getting help is actually what's going to protect you.
Right.
Talking to someone is what's really going to, protect you. And
Hmm.
he said it's really bad when you are high functioning because you go and
Hmm.
go and go until you get to what you did, and that was crash. And now
Right.
you got to get help.
Right. And that's the thing, not getting to the point where you crash.
Yeah.
Being able to say, okay, let me take a step back. Let me stop and let me talk to someone.
Yeah.
One of the, I had posted a couple of months ago, because I was getting tired of people telling people you need to go to therapy, because that's like the go-to that a lot of people will tell people, oh, you need therapy. And, and I was like, how is these people keep judging these folks with
Yes.
telling people that they need therapy? Now, because the thing is, what's happening is you're telling people running around telling people they need therapy, right? And because they basing it off of other people's
Right.
opinions, right? They seek a therapist, but they don't follow through.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem that a lot of therapists, face, with clients, because it's just like, okay, so what they come here for if they
Right.
knew they wasn't ready? You can't, and the thing is, you can't change anybody and you can't make people be ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't make people be ready, for therapy. They have to be able to say for themselves, okay, you know what? I need help and I'm willing
And I'm going to
and
go get
ready and
yeah.
I'm able and I want to go get it. I'm
Right.
ready to receive it.
Exactly. So that's a good point you make because when I was doing my research, I
Hmm.
read that
Hmm.
even with the number of people that are diagnosed, there are so
Hmm.
many more that don't even seek treatment.
Hmm.
How do you know or how do you prepare yourself to be ready? Because it truly is a mindset to go.
It is. It is. It is a mindset. The thing is you have to start asking questions, just asking yourself questions. you know, about what you have going on in your life, like what exactly is happening. You know, if you feel like, you know, asking yourself the question, like, okay, what, why do I feel sad? Like, if it's for depression, why do I feel sad? What is actually happening, you know? And sometimes we can pinpoint everything that's going on, you
Yeah.
know, and we could create a list of everything that's happening. Sometimes we can, you know, there might be some past traumas
Mm-hmm.
that we hid in our subconscious, right? And we left it there.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's coming back to the forefront, be based off of different situations that has happened
Mm-hmm.
in our adult life. And
Mm.
so now it's like, okay, all of this that I was not trying to deal with, now I have to deal with it.
Right.
And so what am I going to do?
That's true.
You
I
know, and
yes.
so now it's like, okay, so now I have to get the help that I need,
Mm-hmm.
so for me to be able to work out all of these issues, you
Right.
know, with myself, so that I don't keep hiding behind a mask.
Yep.
And you know, wearing a mask is easy. You know, I think about like when my father had passed away, and it was so crazy. I went to the doctors because my job was like, okay, maybe you need some time. No, maybe you need a couple weeks off. And I was like, whatever. And so I went to the doctor, you know, just for a routine check. And she was just like, okay. She said, are you all right? And I said, I guess I am. And I told her, you know, and at the time my father passed, I was going through a layoff at my job at the
Mm.
same time. And so my doctor looked at me and she said, now Lena, mind you, I was dressed to the nines
Right.
because I was coming from work, right? Hair done, makeup done, nails done. I was, you know, going. She was just like, all that makeup and everything on, don't hide what you got going on.
Yes.
And she was like, you're gonna crash. And she said, because you had two major life situations happen at one time. And it's three major life situations that you don't want. And if the third happens, that's going to, you know, and I'm like, okay. She said, you know, you can't have all this happen at one time.
Right.
So we need to pull you out. And so I'm just like, she's like, 'cause see, you're masking, right? All this is a mask
All this,
for
yes.
what you going through. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I ended up, you know, staying out, and I took like 3 months off after my dad died, you know, and and then I went back to work like that, you know, that fall. But and I still lost my job that fall, but
Yeah.
but in the interim, I still had that summer off
Right.
to get myself, to get myself together, and I just, so it's like no matter what you do, where you think you have this wall up in this mask, you're not hiding from nobody but yourself.
But yourself.
You're
It's
only hiding from
scary.
yourself. It's
Yeah.
very scary. It's
Yeah.
very scary,
It's scary. Like to know that I just think about, like you said, that lady, she passed people in the hallway to get to her apartment to jump. The young cheerleader at Southern University who posted on Instagram what she was about to do. And by the time somebody read it, because of the algorithm, people saw it, she had already killed herself. It is a scary feeling. I know for me, that's why I was like, yeah, I gotta get help. Like, I gotta go see what it is. Because my doctor won't just send me anywhere. And to sit on the table for a well woman visit, and that doctor be like, you severely depressed. I'm gonna need you to go see somebody. That was scary as hell to me, because I'm like, why would she say that to me? Why,
Right.
Would that, come up like right now? And then when I think back to like all the stuff that I was doing, I'm like, well, I was functioning, but I was in pain. Like I had back pain. Girl, I didn't even know why my back was hurting. My neck was hurting. It was just so much going on that we think is physical. And I think as women, we don't do it enough.
Right.
We don't go get help enough. Like we don't go and talk to someone, especially about stuff like this.
Because we think we could do everything.
Yeah, and we raising kids.
hmm And it's like, we don't allow ourselves time or grace to say, okay, it's okay for me not to be okay, and it's okay for me to
Right.
go and get help because we feel like we have to be there for everyone else,
Right. Right.
and we have to know that, guess what? In order for us to be good for anybody else, we got to be good for ourselves first.
Yes. Yes, that is
And
so true. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people miss out on is like we
hmm
say, well, I have to be here, for this person and that person,
hmm
but you're not even really being there for yourself
hmm
because you're not even operating at a high functioning level.
right, right,
You're
yeah,
like almost a shell of
yes,
yourself. Like it's just
hmm
you're like almost a shell of yourself. So
right.
this was, I'm gonna have you back. This was great. So tell us some tips, like close us out with some tips on
hmm
how you can manage,
hmm
or maintain your mental health, especially now because we about to roll into
hmm
the holiday.
Oh my goodness, and that's
Yeah,
a whole other piece.
that's a whole nother episode we
That's
gonna have
all.
to do.
That's a whole nother, because a lot of people think that they have to be Superman and Superwoman through the holidays,
Right.
and then you have people who have relatives that they just can't deal with during the holidays and know that they have to deal with them every holiday. Is like, you just don't
Yeah.
know. Lakeisha, people is actually right now having panic attacks and freaking out just over Thanksgiving. This like around this time, this week and next week is when people really start feeling it,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
not
the
to mention the loss of loved ones
right,
that ain't
right.
there no more, but now you gotta deal with Uncle Joe who you can't stand.
All these people that stressing you out, and they already worried about who gonna make how many turkeys and all that. Like, come on, calm down, you
Right.
know. But
You ain't lying for
you
real.
know, right. But some tips that I can give is number one, I want everybody to be able to take a deep breath.
Yes.
Right? I want you to be able to take a deep breath and just be able to remain calm, right? I want you to start practicing some relaxation skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want you to be able to start, being able to exercise, helps with relaxing yourself. Everybody's not going to have the same coping skills for depression, so with that, being able to find what works for you. Journaling is something that helps. A lot of people like to write it out, write out everything that you want to get off your chest. You know what I mean? Being able to do that, being able to, know when to seek help,
That's so true.
right? And if you feel like you need help, being able to say, being okay to say, I'm not okay,
Yes.
and being able to contact a professional, and if you don't have, a therapist or someone that you can contact, you could always reach out to your clergy or the religious figure in your life. You could talk to them as well because they're there as well to be able to counsel you on what you may be going through.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh, those are like great tips because I think a lot of times people don't think about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing now too
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of churches are getting more involved in mental wellness because
Yes.
you've been on every My Mind is My Business summit. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things we always go to is how we feel sometimes that the church, it stems from
Mm-hmm.
there because
Mm-hmm.
this is where I'm at most of my time.
Right.
I'm here and I'm sitting on this pew and I ain't feeling nothing but despair.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right,
know,
right, right,
you
right. And you don't
preaching and
want that.
telling me, well, ain't nothing wrong with you, or you need to pray to God, and that's all good. But I
Mm-hmm.
think he want me to go get a therapist too. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I think he
Mm-hmm.
want me to go get some help too. So
Right.
I'm glad you mentioned that as one of the tips. Like, reach out. These are resources for you
Mm-hmm.
to be able to reach out to.
And you're right, and it's good to see that more churches and are getting involved when it comes to mental health and
Yes.
wanting mental wellness because they know there's a lot of things that that there's more help that's
Right.
needed. You know what I mean? Because we know, God wouldn't have put therapists out there if, you know, he needed a
Exactly.
little bit more assistance. He needed some help with all the people.
All
To be
these
able to
folks
help with
out
the
here.
masses. Everybody needs some help.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much. Tell everybody, number one, what you got coming up, because you always got something coming. We got stuff coming up together.
We got stuff coming up together, yeah. So
Right.
the one thing I have coming up right now, I do have a vision board event that I'm hosting virtually, as well as I'm gonna host a live a vision board event. I have that coming up in the month of December and in the month of January. The second thing I have coming up, which it just happened between last night and today, is I'm bringing back my Girl Heal Thyself, which is a support group. And so the support group will be approximately 8 weeks long, and it's actually going to get started possibly within the next week or two.
Okay.
And for the 8 weeks, the cost is going to cost $150 for 8 weeks. And during that time, it's going to be group sessions on Zoom, so anybody can come from all over, and we're going to have discussions about things, about different topics every week. Because the thing is, I like to have a forum where everybody's be able to talk about things that they're going through. And we know the holiday season, let me tell you, this is about the time that people really need somebody to talk to, because it can become very hectic,
Yes.
So
It
and
does.
so that's what I have coming up these next couple weeks.
Yes. So make sure y'all go follow Dr. Tyra, because she has her podcast. She's live on IG a lot. She's always on somebody else's IG. Like, everybody invites you to their lives. Like,
I know, and I got, and then I have my mental health minute with Dr. Candace and Dr. Tyra, which airs on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we do have that mental health podcast, and then I have Tyra's Just Saying, which is a business podcast where I interview a number of business owners, and that's on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. So it's plenty of ways to tap in. She has tons of products that you can get. We are actually curating some wellness retreats that's coming up. I'm hosting a wellness summit that I'll be sharing with y'all soon. Dr. Tyra's a keynote. So let me tell you, look, she's gonna be keynote for everything I'll be doing. Until she tells me she don't want to be keynote, listen. Okay, you keynote for whatever. Listen.
Look, you're my event coordinator for everything, so it don't matter.
Listen, so we gonna make sure that we get this together. So y'all make sure y'all tap in and go follow Dr. Tyra and see all of the great things that she is doing. Thank you so much for joining us on today.
Thank you for having me this evening.
Yes, of course. We're gonna round this out. So I want y'all to stay tuned to watch this video from Stigma Free. That's also a NAMI video, but it's about us not stigmatizing people that have mental illness. Thank you, Dr. Tyra.
Thank you.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Yes. So, did y'all enjoy that episode? It was so good. We got to meet Erica and talk about Scribe Up, which we are going to go in more details next week about. But also got to tap in and talk to Dr. Tyra, who gave you some really helpful tips. And we talked about depression and mental health. And so you'll hear more from not only, her, but we'll talk more about mental health here. I am so excited that y'all are joining me. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you share with your friends. And you'll see me back here next week. Next week, I am going to give you an insight into what I am doing next. What's my next adventure in this online event world? And you'll get to find out a little bit more about ScribeUp. We're going to dive deep into it. She's going to show you the insides of it. So thank y'all so much for joining. I will see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.